is a very forward bit of business here. You can see the price of volatility is divergent at the bottom edges, but you can see that we tweeted out SPX was 45 bid, offered at 70, right? So this was at 314, so you got a great chance to sell up to the 70 here. It came up a little bit shy, but you'd already seen selling coming in early, which was this pin candle here. So this was a very, very, very nice sell trade. Again, volatility not in agreement. Volatility not in agreement with this price, right? So that's disappointing. But it is still a sell as far as I could see in terms of the way that the market dealers were trading this top line. As we traded down, of course, obviously we've got a 45 bid. Well, what happened at 45 bid? Well, it was beautiful, wasn't it? We got this brilliant buy-side response. And then all of a sudden, our world is turned upside down, isn't it? We start seeing the dealers starting to sell very, very early into this. And obviously at that stage there, when it starts to drop, I'm now looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? They're pulling this price down to 30. They're going to pull away down to 30 here, right? So obviously what I'm now looking at is I'm now looking at this and saying, well, the volatility doesn't agree with this. So obviously a quick buy trade off the 40s with a sell at 50 was my shout. A quick buy trade off of this little drop down into this area, this previous liquidity, and a sell trade off the 50 was my live call. Now you can see on this candle, the price of volatility is rising on a green candle. Well, that means we're getting a bull candle on a bear trade. So that's a very strong sell for me at 50. And obviously what we're now looking at is we're now looking to see if the pricing starts to help us with this press into 58.30s, right? So when the dealers are pulling from 40, we're now looking at the 58.30 as the dealer target on this. The challenge we've got is that if the dealers were really keen on this 58.30, they would have gone a lot harder on the volatility when the price upticked to 50, and they didn't seem to be that particularly concerned about it. So it looks like it's the right trade. It feels like it's the right trade. I'm pretty sure it is the right trade. But I'm just a little bit surprised that they weren't a little bit more proactive on the vols, yeah? A little bit more proactive on the volatility. I'm a little bit disappointed in that play there. But it is what it is. We called it out for you. We told you sell off the 50 pullback. If you sold off the 50 pullback, congratulations for, as I said, listening and acting at the same time. It makes sense to pay attention, doesn't it? Lovely trade. Lovely little cheeky outcome. Let's see what happens. Sexy like a box of chocolates. Anyway, looking at Gamma, we talked about the little Gamma model from earlier. We've had two triggers actually in the last 30 minutes on the Gamma model. We did get a well. Let's just have a look at them. So the quick Gamma model that we were talking about earlier on today. Let's take a goosey. So you'll see that we got a sell trigger up here on the Gamma model. So that's going to be a cycle sell. So you can see the big volume on the profile building at that price. So that looks like a very strong Gamma sell, doesn't it? It's on a nice cycle rotation higher. And it would have been brilliant if we'd got that top edge liquidity there, wouldn't it? It would have been spectacular if we'd got that very, very top line to sell that Gamma into. And obviously you can see that we get a couple of times get very close to finding perhaps some buy-side Gamma cycling, but not really there, is it? You can see they're still stretching here and they're still stretching here. And there's absolutely nothing on the cycling here either. So we can see what happens here. Again, we get another Gamma sell-side cycle. It's on an uptick into a little toxic sell level. And obviously that little sell, again, using that concept of Gamma, finding that opportunity to press that, and you can see what's happened to the sell trade. The sell trade's absolutely bolted for cover, and it still looks like Gamma selling coming into this as a narrative. You can see how low it is here, even on a downtick. So it's not cycling back on the bid. So obviously at the moment, sell side business working its way from that Gamma cycle high up here at 59.04. Gamma cycle high 58.90s, and obviously trading down to 58.70s is kind of borderline sensational. So as good as it gets really in terms of understanding this little Gamma cycle. If there's any interest in it, we'll maybe build this model in Classroom. It's a very simple model, but we'll maybe build this model in Classroom this afternoon if there's an interest in the gamma storyline here.